Welcome to Business Blurb You and the Dropouts podcast. My name is Brendan Cox, and I'm here with my co-host Devin Caherly. What's up, Devin?
What's going on, everybody? Today we have a special guest, Senzi Salasini. He's the founder of a high-demand marketing agency based in Chicago.
What's up, Senzi?
How's it going, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So let's just jump right into this. So for the viewers who don't know a ton about you, you're from Chicago. Can you give them a basic rundown of who you are and what your company does?
Yeah, long story short, run a digital marketing agency, and we actually just help entrepreneurs get more clients through paid traffic and systems.
Cool. So a lot of Facebook ads?
Yeah, it's really the whole gauntlet, right? So Facebook ads and a bunch of systems on the back end to actually convert that traffic on those viewers into actual paying clients.
Sweet. That's pretty cool. So who's your typical client? Is it entrepreneur? Are you working for entrepreneurs and kind of the guru side of things, selling courses and stuff? Or is it more you're working for entrepreneurs who own these big businesses and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I first started out, it was more like agency work, right? Done for you work, working with more local businesses. And then as the business starts to grow, then we shifted more into coaches, consultants, service providers. But then as the business grew, I started to do a lot more consulting because people want to know how to do it themselves, right? That's really where that empowerment factor comes in, where you don't have someone doing it for you. They want to do it themselves. So on the consultancy side, we work a lot more with coaches, consultants, other agency owners, and of course, more service providers as well.
Gotcha. So you started out more selling the services, and people are I want to learn what you do, so you started teaching. I think that's actually pretty cool because I feel that too. If I was to pay, I don't know if you're doing Facebook ads and stuff like that, but if I was hiring someone to do Facebook ads, I would probably be on YouTube trying to figure out how to do that too. So that's a cool way to go about it for sure.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're super busy. What's your day-to-day life?
Man, it varies. That's kind of just the life of entrepreneurship, right? But however, something that I like to keep constant is how I start the day and how I end the day, right? So how I start the day is the typical, you can call this morning routine. I'm not the biggest fan of, 10 steps to, this great morning, right? But I have certain things that I need to get done in the morning prior to letting the day hit me, right? Then, of course, same thing at night. I like to wind down the same way. But between the day, man, it's really whatever comes throughout the day, right? There's always prospecting, business development, creating content, providing for the clients, right? It goes across the board, right? Team management, daily meetings, it goes across the board. But definitely the morning and the night stay the same.
Yeah, no, 100%. Routines are important, even if you don't put a label on it. But going off of that, you said something about having a team. How big is your team? Is it just you, or do you have do you outsource some stuff to employees, or how does that all work?
Yeah, I try to run pretty lean, especially when it was more on the agency side. Things did get a little bit bigger as far as human capital goes, but then on the consulting side, we do run a little bit more leaner, right? So we have a team right now of about 4, and then sometimes 5. We have a part-timer, but mostly it's 4 of us, and we run pretty lean.
That's cool. Yeah, I kind of like it better when it's I don't know. Once it gets too big, sometimes it's just too much.
There's so many moving pieces, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Off camera and before we were starting this podcast, you mentioned something about mentors. Do you have a mentor, or anybody in specific that you look up to, in the marketing world?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because when it comes to mentors, I'm huge on them, right? Strictly because of one of the mistakes that I made, but also I think us as entrepreneurs we make in general is we think we can do it all ourselves, without any help, right? It's that arrogance and ignorance that'll put you out of business super quick. I was that person, man. I was that person. I got it. I'll learn it. Oh, it's on YouTube. It's on this. But that's the quickest way to run fast in the wrong direction, right? And that's just exhausting because then when someone comes along and they tweak your path and they say, hey, you're doing this wrong, do it this way, you realize you spent so much energy going in the wrong direction when you could have just asked for help to begin with, right? So for me, why do I say all that is because I think mentors are important, but I find a mentor or even a book or an audio listening to things like this, which I love what you guys are doing. It's more of a read what you need / find the mentor with what you need, right? So for me, I speak and hire different people for different aspects of my life. So the answer is really across the board. I really get the information of what I want from the person who has accomplished the thing that I want to do. Does that make sense?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
I think it's like it's such a weird thing with entrepreneurship in general. I mean, I guess it's just everybody, but there's this like weird thing where it's like I don't people are embarrassed to ask for help, I guess. And I like
Hmm.
get it. I've been there, but like it shouldn't be like an embarrassing thing to ask for help or have a mentor. So I don't know. I guess it is that like arrogance that everybody goes through and they think they know it all. But yeah, mentors are definitely super important.
It
Absolutely.
sounds like you don't really need a mentor in person. Like it sounds like you can like find these mentors online for the newer viewers.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's the beauty of the world we live in today is because, especially with COVID happening, right? I mean,
Hmm.
the thing is with COVID, happening in 2020 is all it did was it just compressed time, right? This was where the world was going anyway, this digital space, but now it forced people to have to figure out how to continue doing business, continue communicating via the internet, right? Like most people had their Christmas via Zoom, right? Just there with your family on a Zoom call, Zoom meeting, right? So, I mean, to
Hmm.
answer your question, I mean, for me, if I see someone online or I mean, it could be in person, but mostly now it's online, who's doing something that I want to do, whether it be health, wealth, relationships, whatever it may be, and they're credible, they actually have the results that I want, or at least they're a few steps ahead of me. I'm picking up the phone. I'm picking up the phone, getting on the phone, saying, "Hey, can I get some of your time? What are you doing? How are you doing? Et cetera, et cetera."
Yeah, I feel like a lot of new people, like Brendan said, were like scared to send that like DM or message. But like honestly, like you've like nothing to lose at the end of the day. I think everyone should just go for it. You know?
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. I mean, someone says no, and you're right back to where you were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. So with like the whole Facebook ads thing and just, I guess, running ads for companies, how do you like go about getting clients? Do you run ads to get clients too? Or are you reaching out like via DM, phone? Like how do you go about getting clients?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. And I mean, at that point, it really does depend on where you are, right? So I'm assuming the question is more geared towards the new advertiser, someone looking to get into the space, like run their own agency.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, just in general, like how are you getting your clients these days?
Yeah,
Like I don't know.
no, it's a good
Whatever
question.
whatever you want to answer it to.
Yeah, no, no, no. That's a great question. 'Cause I mean, there's many ways to get clients in general, right? There's organic outreach, which is just DMing, emails, etc., right? But then there's also running ads. And for us, we're at the stage in the business where majority of our clientele is through advertising, right? Because we have the bandwidth to do so, right? However, when I was first getting started, it wasn't that way, right? I didn't have just money to spend on ads to get clients, and I know ads is this sexy topic, this attractive topic. However, if you don't have the foundation in place, I never recommend just jumping straight into ads, right? You need to have proof of concept. You need to have a foundation to spend that money on ads, right? Ads just really adds fuel to whatever your offer is. So for me, when I ask that question again, it's more so where are you in your journey, right? What's your situation? If you have a chest of money to spend on ads, even though it's not that expensive, then yeah, run ads to test your theory and test your process and get clients. However, if you don't, then I always recommend organic outreach and then growing your business that way.
Awesome.
100%.
What did you do before? Did you always like want to? Oh, I'm gonna create this marketing agency like as a kid, like, or were you doing other businesses before this
I'm
venture?
sure he was in kindergarten thinking he wanted to create a marketing agency.
100%. No, kindergarten.
Imagine.
I was waiting for Mark Zuckerberg to drop Facebook. No, no, good question. So for me, it's always been a sense of I just wanted to be independent, right? Now, at the
Hmm.
time, entrepreneurship wasn't this sexy topic. It wasn't. I couldn't even spell the word at the time. I didn't even know what it was. However, I mean, you guys know when you have that itch, you have that itch for something. You don't know what it is, but you just have that
Hmm.
itch, right? And the way I got into marketing was actually with my first two projects. They failed miserably because I wasn't able to get customers, right? So naturally, once I came across Facebook ads, I said, hold on, wait, how is this person in my newsfeed right now? Like they're actually getting a message in front of me. I don't know who this is. They're advertising a product. So I started looking into Facebook ads. And then from there, of course, I failed miserably in the beginning. I think I made one night about 150 bucks, but I lost money on ads because I was bad at it. But I remember I realized, okay, hold on. I made 150 bucks, but I physically wasn't there. And then I looked at the data and I saw, hold on, I reached hundreds of people, but I wasn't there. So of course, as an entrepreneur, as I'm sure you guys are really seeing it right now, you kind of see a light bulb go off. You're like, hold on, I got to get good at this thing, right? Because there's something here. And then of course, fast forward, then the agency started, et cetera. But it more so started with that itch of wanting to do something. And then after college is when, I just went into entrepreneurship shortly after.
So you started at like kind of near college, I would say.
It was a few years after college because I worked in the corporate world for a little bit, and then I went into entrepreneurship, and that's when things really hit the ground because you start to fail extremely fast, extremely early, and then you learn as you go. That's kind of the point of when I say mentors are so important because if I had just known early on to just ask someone who's done it, right, you can save yourself so much pain, so much time, and also so much money.
Yeah, definitely. So if you had to like give any piece of advice to a young entrepreneur to kind of I don't know, save them from maybe a failure, even though failing is like great, what would you say to them? If there's any entrepreneurs watching this, young entrepreneurs, which
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah. First thing is swallow your pride, because that's the biggest thing that hurt me. And like you guys mentioned, it hurts a lot of people, right? It's this ego thing, and I can only say from experiences, I was that guy who was, I'll do it, I'll take care of it, I'll handle it, I'll do it myself, and I just ended up running in the wrong direction fast, right? So I always recommend ask for help where you need it, right? But also with the internet, there's a low barrier to entry, right? So make sure you're doing your due diligence and understanding, does this person have the results that you want, right? And also, do you like their personality, right? Because if you're going to be working with someone or asking someone for help, you got to make sure you guys can mesh on really a personal level as well. So I always recommend if you're just getting started, save yourself the heartache and just ask for help. It will get you to your destination much, much faster.
Yeah, and with this whole ego thing, like there's some like I don't know. I personally don't like the way like the whole entrepreneurship thing is going, like the direction it's headed in.
Hmm.
Just with social media,
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming like a status symbol
Hmm.
more than anything, which is I think it's like horrible for entrepreneurs in general. It's like a flex to become an entrepreneur, but that's just not at all what entrepreneurship is. So
It's all the gurus out there on
Right,
social media.
right,
It's fake this lifestyle.
right. And
I
that's the
mean, not
thing.
every guru, but it's like the ones that are like I even see it on like TikTok these days. Like these people are like clearly like, and it kind of it's frustrating because they're pushing this false narrative that like it's the whole get rich quick scheme. It's
Hmm.
literally it's like that all over again, but like it looks so much more realistic because their dad owns a Lamborghini rental place or like they have. It's just like it's frustrating. I don't know. I'm sure you could like see where I'm coming from.
100%. 100%. I mean, a lot of my clients who come to me, they've been burned by those quote gurus, right? Because like you said, it's easy for anyone to go and rent a Lambo, right? It's easy for someone to go and rent uh, a penthouse Airbnb for a day or two and then flex it in your ads, right? Flex it on your Instagram, on your TikTok, whatever it is. But then when the rubber hits the road and you actually need help growing your business, they can't teach you that, right? They can't help you that. Right. So then that's when my clients come and they say, well, hey, I like the way you market because you don't do all these things, but you have the results behind it. But even then, what's the most painful part is that they thought that that was like the end goal. But something you learn over the years is the Lambo, the cars, the houses, it's all a great goal to have. But at the end of the day, all of us are just trying to get freedom, right? To do what we want, right? So even when you chase that thing, it's never really the thing that people really want when you speak to them at their core.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, I mean, I guess it's that the Lambos are representing that freedom, but like,
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't even like if I wanted to buy a Lambo, I wouldn't. I just don't think. I don't know. I just have different goals, but I guess it's more. It's not even about the Lambo. It's just like about having the ability to have the money to have the Lambo.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
So when you get these clients that, you know, sign up for your marketing agency or whatever, are you on other social media platforms like besides Instagram, like marketing them, or?
Yeah, so on the agency side, we just run their ads as far as, Facebook and Instagram ads. But then on the consulting side, we have our clients on all sorts of different platforms, right? Because they want to learn, and especially we want to teach them how to be a holistic business, right? Because they're going to be,
Mhm.
once they go through our program and they learn how to actually build their business correctly online, then I want to equip them with the most tools possible so they can continue to succeed. Right. So that's why in the program, we go over a lot of principles and a lot of business strategy so that whenever Facebook goes away, right, whenever Instagram goes away, TikTok, whatever it may be, the strategy doesn't change, right? Marketing is marketing is marketing since the 40s, the 50s, whatever it may be. The strategy never changes. The platforms may change. So we teach them how to be business owners from a strategic standpoint so that they can never actually go hungry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And like
definitely.
going off of that, like with this whole pandemic, I don't know if it was a pandemic or what, but like TikTok is obviously like taken over as
Hmm.
probably like one of the top social medias. Has that impacted like anything with your clients? Like, are you seeing like worse performance with Instagram ads or anything? Like, I just don't know where the whole Instagram platform is going necessarily.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So when it comes to organic, right now TikTok is crushing it, right? Because you can grow organically on TikTok within weeks/months, right? If you truly put in the effort. However, when it comes
Okay.
to pay to play advertising, Facebook and Instagram are still the top platforms for pay to play, strictly because you're talking about 4 billion monthly active users of all demographics, right? So you can find your audiences on there. However, on TikTok, it's still a younger platform. But as you guys have noticed, I'm sure in the last year, it's getting a little bit more sophisticated, right? You've got college students on there. You've got now early 20s, mid 20s, 30s are getting on there, right? So it's only a matter of time before TikTok becomes like Instagram, where one, the algorithm becomes tighter, so then it will become pay to play, but then also the older generation, older demographics will be put on TikTok as well. Because I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, strictly because of the addictive nature that they've brought into their algorithm.
Yeah, no, dude, it's literally scary how addicted. You open the app and you scroll through a couple of videos and it's like 2 hours later and
Two
you're like,
hours
what the
later.
hell? That's partly Devin's fault, honestly. Devin,
Yeah,
have
I
you?
use TikTok a lot. That's how like everything got started for me. And I was curious if you like tested it at all or like ran ads on TikTok before.
No, no, it's interesting. What they're doing actually is pretty smart. So they're reaching out to a lot of bigger advertisers on Facebook and Instagram, or at least I can say from my experience. So I've received emails from them asking to start advertising on their platform, and I'm sure I can almost guarantee I'm not the only one who's received that email, strictly because they want.
TikTok emailed you?
Right. And I'm sure it's one of their reps, right? I'm sure they have hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
reps, and they just reach out to other advertisers on these other platforms who are clearly spending, and they say, hey, come spend on TikTok, right? It's just another avenue. Like I said, the platforms are going to change, but the strategy doesn't, right? So
Mhm.
I'm sure at some point TikTok will become like Instagram and Facebook, where to see any sort of real reach, it will become pay to play. I can already tell that that's where they're going. So for us,
Yeah,
when it comes to strategy, it's not there for us yet, strictly because of demographic reasons. However, if it comes to like organically growing, I can see us going on TikTok 100%.
definitely. No, TikTok is awesome. Like, it's literally crazy that you could in 1 week you could gain like you can gain up to, I don't know. There's people that gain like 1 million followers
Oh
in a
yeah,
week, which is just not there with Instagram. Like you said, it's just you got to pay to play. Um,
exactly.
but with your clients, like what systems and like programs are you implementing? I know you're saying like if Facebook leaves, the programs and all that are still there, but like can you give us some examples of like what kind of strategies you are? I'm not trying to get any free
Yeah.
marketing knowledge out of you, but is there any like tips or anything you can give the viewers?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we operate on really four main pillars, but just to dive in a little bit for you guys is the biggest skill that's really needed when it comes to I won't even say digital marketing. It's just marketing in general. Because, when you study the older generation of marketers like, David Ogilvy, Claude Hopkins, et cetera, they all had one thing in common. They were all just really good at conveying their message, right? AKA copywriting. For those of you who don't know what really copywriting is, right? It's just words that sell. Now, in today's digital age, fortunately, you can take copywriting and put it into video, right? And you can just create a video, copywritten video, right? So you're just selling with words. So one of the biggest things we do is we really hone in on the message to your market. Because once you know your message to your market, truly understand it, then everything else just flows naturally, right? The ads, the outreach, the funnels, the sales call, whatever it may be, everything else makes so much sense because you know your message to your market. And the only person who can really understand that is if they've tried to put something out there and it just hasn't worked. So it's really just flopped, right? It's really your message. So that's one of the things we really hone in on. And then we throw on the bells and whistles, right? The Facebook ads, the funnels, the landing pages, whether it be whatever you're selling with, that's when you bolt on all the fancy stuff. So when it comes to tips and strategies for the listeners is just make sure when you're starting a business, make sure you know your message to your market because, and of course you have your core offer because nothing else will work. It will fall apart if you don't have that core foundation down. Your ads won't work. Your funnel won't work because the core offer and the core message to your market isn't there.
Gotcha. So this is just a question that I'm curious about. What's a funnel's like the same thing as a landing page, or is that two different things?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's funny, like nowadays, again, like we talk about how entrepreneurship is this like sexy topic. Funnel is this word that's now being thrown around as like this sexy word, right? However, all a funnel is a step-by-step process to get someone to make a decision. However, most likely a buying decision, right? So a landing page is just a part of the funnel, right? It's just one step of the funnel. Then there's a page after that, there's a page after that, or a process after that to take them to giving you money and paying you at the end. That's essentially what a funnel is. A landing page is just a part of it.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember I used to run some like Facebook ads in the day, and I was just going right to the product page, and I'm like, why isn't this working? Probably why. I mean, this was like so long ago, but
Yeah.
I mean, they used to work like I don't know, but I think that's another thing. Like people get so frustrated. Like I just I'm like talking to some local business owners. They try to run ads for their companies, and they obviously they're just like, I literally just wasted $100 and got nothing out of it. So that's kind of where you come into play, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, we've had clients who come in and I do an audit on their account. They're spending 12K a month and just barely breaking even. Barely breaking even. Luckily, they're selling something higher ticket, so they can break even on it. But you're talking about if you spend 12K and you're breaking even, there's zero strategy on the back end because ads are so cheap, right? There's no reason to spend that much, and depending on what the structure is, not profit from it. With again, how affordable ads are. So trust me, I've seen it across the board.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you ever take like influencers that try to sign up and like you help market their brand, or are you mostly just like businesses?
It depends. If the influencer doesn't have a product or service behind them, which is where I think influencer marketing or influencers in general are still not understanding their true value yet. Because if they don't have a product or a service bolted onto their brand, and they just want to, brand in general just to grow followers, likes, and comments. I mean, you can't cash likes and comments to the bank, right? So then for me, I know how to do it, but I wouldn't take that client on if they don't have a product or service or aren't willing to create a product or a service to bolt it on the back end, right? That's part of what we do in the program is help people put a product or a service bolted onto their brand as well. However, if they're unwilling and they just want likes and comments, right, I'm just not that guy because for me, I like to have an ROI for my clients.
And that's one thing I've been getting. Like I do some influencer marketing too. And
Yeah.
I get like a million emails of these people being like, "Hey, let's start like for Devin, but also like for me." Like I mean, they must send them out to like these mass email lists, but they're like, "Let's start a like drop shipping brand under your like everybody's pushing that right now,
Right.
which makes sense, but like, there's definitely like a time and a place for that. I mean, I don't like Devin. I don't know if you have you considered that, like starting a brand. Like, so Devin's what 3 million followers on TikTok. So
Yeah.
like I don't know.
You mean starting like a drop shipping site
Not
or
drop
something?
shipping, but like I don't know. Like what you got Bryce Hall doing like Annie Energy. Would you ever like I don't know start
Oh,
like a toothpaste company that's called like Devin Caherly toothpaste? Not toothpaste, but that's the
no,
first thing I
yeah.
thought
I
of.
mean, 100%. Like, I'm just that type of entrepreneurial guy. I feel like as you get bigger as an influencer, you have more opportunity to like create like a product or like other businesses as well. But that's definitely happening in the future. Like you said.
100%. And I mean the key is too that I've just learned being in the space and meeting some of the people who before I used to look to as quote influencers. It has to be something that you're actually passionate about that will serve your audience, right? I don't know who exactly your audience may be, but this thing, even if it's Devin's toothpaste, right? Is it actually a good product that you can stand behind and it'll actually serve your clients? Because if not, then you're actually going to end up sending your brand backwards, right? So then you're going to
Yeah.
get a lot of returns. You're going to get a lot of, just bad reviews, et cetera. So it has to be something that the influencer is backing and they're truly passionate and they're behind, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a good product,
Exactly.
because
But it
it's
also
just gonna
can't be
fail.
like forced. Like I feel like with that type of stuff, it's like I don't know why I brought up the toothpaste thing. It's like killing me. But like if Devin loved toothpaste, like let's change it. If Devin loved like Monster Energy or something, and he was like a big energy drink guy, like it would make sense for him to start his own energy drink company. But like
Right.
you can definitely tell when like things are so forced, like and just a money grab.
Like a
So
sellout.
exactly, yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, to that point, exactly. Like you just said, right? Look at The Rock, one of the biggest, if not the biggest influencer online right now. He just started his own energy drink company. I think it's called like Zoa or something like that. Free plug for The Rock on his
Yeah.
podcast, I guess. But he just started his energy company, and it's based off of his culture, right? I don't know if I think he's Samoan, so it's based off of his culture, and I guess like some of the things are grown in his country, whatever it may be. So that's a passion product, right? He truly stands behind it because I think the logo is actually his tattoo on his arm, right? And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's that
No, yeah, I
sense of
think you're
where
right.
exactly it's that sense of where as an influencer you're starting something, but you're truly actually passionate about what that message is behind your product.
Yeah, totally. Um, I just have one question. So, where do you see yourself in the next like 5 to 10 years? Like, what are your goals in the near future?
That's a great question, man. I was just asked that question like 2 weeks ago on a different interview. And for me right now, the goal is, especially with the way the pandemic hit and a lot of people are now looking to the internet to grow, the goal now is just to expand the empowerment, right? Because some of the stories that we have in the program of people really saying, hey, listen, you have changed my life, right? That's not a bragging point. That's just me saying, wow, what we have works. What we have is helping people. We need to reach more people. So over the course of 5 years, my goal is just full steam ahead and reach as many people as possible and help them grow their product, right? Their service and grow their business to change their lives. I'd empower them with the skill sets, the tools and the resources to keep growing. That's my goal right now.
yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome. I feel like that's a cool note to like wrap this up on. Where can like if people want to check out your marketing stuff and like do you have like a company page or like you want them to just go to your like Instagram, like plug yourself real quick before we wrap this up?
Yeah. Yeah, man, no, I appreciate it. I mean, luckily, my name's pretty unique. So you can just go to senzi.com. That's N as in Nancy, SENZI.com. Instagram, same thing, just at Senzi, right? Same spelling. And if you guys want to catch a free course on marketing, how to get clients, just go to senzi.com/gift. And that is my gift to you guys from the Business Blurred podcast.
That's what's up.
awesome. I appreciate it, my man.
Yeah,
No
I might
problem,
take
fellas.
you
Thanks
up
for
on
having me.
that.
Yeah, do
Of
it.
course.
All right, cool. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.